Is your company taking the ostrich approach to distracted driving? Michael Reemer, co-founder of ZoomSafer, counsels fleets to have a clear policy and enforce it.
The whole distracted driving issue was, very small, whisper 2 years ago. Secretary LaHood has made it one of his big platforms from which he talks, and I think that's raised the awareness within enterprises. And there's a range of what enterprises are doing about that. Some are being very proactive and putting a policy in place and getting software like ZoomSafer to actually monitor and enforce that. Some are beginning to understand what kind of policy they do need to put in place and what their risk position wants to be as far as making and receiving phone calls in particular. I think everybody understands that texting and emailing is bad. And then, as we talked before, there are some companies that are kind of taking the ostrich approach where they're just ignoring it until something bad happens, which is probably the worst thing that they could be doing right now. Basically, the issues around negligent entrustment and other kind of direct and vicarious liability that enterprises have as it relates to employees using phones in the scope of work is a big issue. We have 2 white papers already on that topic. We've got another one coming out. But basically, what the court system in the U.S. has shown is that not only do you have to have a policy, but it can't just be a throwaway policy. It has to be something that you actively monitor and enforce. And kind of the landmark case associated with that is the International Paper. In the International Paper case, somebody was driving and they hurt somebody and they went to court, and they went to the court and they said, well, we had a policy. And the plaintiff's attorney said, well, what are you doing about it? He said, we have a policy. Everybody knows what the policy is. And since they weren't actively enforcing it and since they weren't actively managing it, they ended up settling for a lot of money because they didn't have any way to show that they were doing something about it in a meaningful way.